you guys, it's MJ from I UNPLUG. How are you? I missed my super early morning share today, basically because I got triggered. It had like some big emotional storms come up, but I'm always so thankful, actually. It's a very bizarre process, but once like the rage, the tears, whatever emotion is revealing itself and coming up, increasingly I just feel really grateful to like be able to be present with it and have a kind of soul group or soul family of people around me that can be present with it as well. And there's a lot more kind of connectivity and acceptance and like a sense of support through the intensity of the energies. So a big one for me is just the feedback I'm getting about the shift from Uranus into Taurus, and that as it's moving through these end degrees of Aries, we're really in the heavies, in under pressure, really like looking at and sitting with and being with all of our ancient darkness energies, shames, guilt, unworthinesses, fears, cellular fear. So we might be experiencing old patterns really rise up. We might perceive and actually see certain old fears make manifest in front of us or like play with us for a little bit. We can see ourselves going into these patterns quite naively, and yet there's a witnessing, which to me relates to the collective rising, whereby there's enough awareness in the collective that now there's a shift in being supported, and there's definitely a huge freedom break for empaths in claiming sovereignty, releasing people-pleasing patterns, which equates to just being able to say no to people and ultimately walk away from dissonance, from a lack of harmony, because that harmony is felt viscerally in the present moment with the aligning with the intuition. So the more the collective rising, which is equating really to new paradigm shift, living from a more compassionate, holistic, unified, and loving perspective, which is really the one mind, the one body of Christ in harmony with the bioresonance of the one planet, the one plant, the one earth that we're inhabiting. So in the co-creative fractalization of our own soul, we then go through the process of putting it all back together. And we're now suddenly in this awareness of putting ourselves back together. And the more of us who continue on, that becomes more integrated in the entirety of the human collective consciousness, which is, it's all just different words for explaining a really rather exciting transition on this planet as far as the human species go, and how we're reconfiguring and reprogramming our own consciousness to endeavor this soul's growth and awareness as far as creative potential and also responsibility. The energetic responsibility that goes along with certain freedom and certain power, certainly, in the ethereal, in the energetic realms, you could say, which is really one and the same. It's just the co-creative sort of energy impulses which bring form into form, which allow all that is to make itself manifest in form. Is this accumulation, this momentum building of energy streams, energy frequencies. It's just a perpetual sort of infinity loops, us accessing our eternity and divinity, which is like this divine presence elixir, very allowing, which is always allowing these polarities and these spectrums of contrast to show themselves to us so that we can own more of the totality of the creative potential that we are, so that we can create it. So this morning I had this massive shift with an awareness that there's yet another wave of collective imprint, like lifting the lid on another collective, a big collective wound. There's a whole bunch in the collective waking up or becoming more aware of relationships, love and relationship dynamics, abuse patterns, codependencies, mostly within our relationships as the kind of I guess the primary evidence of what we're really carrying. And there's also sometimes a sense of isolation and permissioning ourselves to isolate, to reflect and go over, so that these choices, as we continue to move forward, are more clear. Finally, there's also the sense of really being in the unknown, being in this void, and remembering that we are the creators. And so as we traverse these new energies and or feelings of unknownness, that we anchor it into the body and we feel the presence of our body, and then really start to expand the mindscape, and then commit to the endeavoring of your own unfolding through your higher consciousness or your imagination, in a beautiful sense, the one that feels most exhilarated, that feels most aligned and alive, and ultimately comes from a heart of purity, a heart of innocence, a heart of desiring a really much more beautiful planet for the good of all, so that we know that we're aligning ourselves with divine right action to sift out, continue the sifting process of the bullshit, and then allow ourselves to continue to rise into greater love and unity. There might be another clear out at this stage as well for some. I know that it's all safe. It's held in divine grace. It's the love in the heart that's ultimately unlocking and breeding more compassion in the collective, helping to clear out certain densities and disparities in our ability to be clear with our mind, and to remove a lot of the shame and guilt around our emotions in the first instance, so that we can then let that lid kind of come off and really start processing these next waves of ancestral and collective clearing, collective karma. And then I'm just hearing something about teachers. We'll begin to see more teachers. We'll begin to have access to a greater sense of the embodiment of the teachings. I hope that was useful to you guys. It's nice to actually just be here in the daytime. It's still like early morning, but I was up at 3:30 and I had every intention. I'm pretty sure I was getting my makeup on and getting ready to go live. And, as it goes, a series of things unfolded that just had me raging and crying at one point. And then I feel really blessed to kind of work it out and have a little bit of space this morning to go live and share with you guys, because it really is an earnest desire to be here with you and to share from this space and in this space, and allow ourselves to continue to discuss this great awakening and this great unfolding. So have a great day, you guys. I love you. I appreciate you big time, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Peace out.